Hi guys, welcome. My name is Joel Gay. About 4.5 to 5 years ago, I started a consultant company called Rapid Readiness Consulting. Our primary focus is disaster and emergency preparedness. We also provide the sale of emergency kits, the kind of kits you'd keep in your home, your school, your cars, your place of work. Today, we will be focusing on how to locate and shut off your main water valve should you find a leak in your home. And once again, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my channel. It would be a great honor if you can do so. Water is a very essential commodity. We cannot survive without it. As a matter of fact, we use it for drinking, for cooking, cleaning, and it is supplied to our house through either the city, well, or a tank somewhere on the property. And at some point in time, there will be a leak. Most times we discover this leak because you look under the sink and you see everything wet, or you find a wet spot, or even sometimes the faucet could be dripping. You hear this drip, drip, it drives you crazy. Now, once you've discovered this wet spot under your sink, the next step is to figure out where the leak is coming from. Now, if your home is supplied by both hot and cold running water, each line under the sink would have its own separate valve. And I know in the US, the hot water valve is usually to the left under the sink, and the cold water valve is to the right under the sink. Once you've determined which valve is causing the problem, you simply turn it off. And the rule of thumb is, again, as it pertains to the way plumbing is constructed here in the US, and it goes for mostly how you tighten and loosen most things. There's a simple way I remember. You turn it to the right to shut off, and you turn it to the left to loosen, or to turn the water back on. So it goes righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. There is one place in your home where you would only have one water valve, and that is behind the toilet. Again, and the same rule applies to turning it off and turning it back on. Righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. Another major problem that one can encounter in their home is a broken water line. And obviously shutting off just a little valve underneath the sink would not solve the problem. It would require you to go outside and shut off the main water valve that supplies water to the home. Some homes have two water valves outside. The first one is usually located close to the property, to the front, close to the house itself. And if your home does not have that, you would have to locate the main water meter and shut off the valve there. Now, that water meter is usually outside by the road, on the sidewalk, directly in front of your property. And you can locate it by, there's usually a little cover that says water meter on it. And for example, I've provided a video showing you where mine is located. That way, if you need to shut off the entire water supply to your home, this is where you would do it from. Now, let's talk about the tools you would need to shut off this particular valve. Obviously, the one valve, if your house has it, that's closest to your property, you can simply turn it off by hand. But the valve that is out in the street that's connected to the meter, you would need a special tool. The first tool, as like I mentioned in the first video, is this gas shutoff valve tool that also has this end here. You use this end to shut off that main valve outside. Another tool that you can use, it's called a water valve shutoff key, and it looks like this. This particular key is about 27 inches long, and it works even better than this shutoff. Better than this because it's of its length. It gives you more, what's the word? Leverage. Yeah, that's the word, leverage. There is another situation that can occur, and in my opinion, it is the most frustrating of them all. It usually happens when you've gotten your water bill in the mail. You open it up and you realize that your water bill is very high. and you know without a doubt that you did not use that much water. As a matter of fact, you haven't heard any dripping from any of the faucets. You know that there are no wet spots under the sink, but yet your water bill is quite high. So obviously there must be a leak somewhere. Again, there's also no broken lines anywhere. There is a way to see if there really is a leak. That way is you'll have to go to your main water meter where the main water valve is by the street. And in the meter itself, there is a little red dial that's shaped in a triangle. When the water is being used, that triangle spins, as you can see here. But if you know that there's no water being used in the property and you look at that triangle, if there is a leak, you will see it spinning and spinning very slowly. The next best course of action to take after you've turned off the correct valve, be it the one under the sink or behind the toilet or in front of the house or even out in the main street, is to contact a licensed plumber and have them come out and assess the situation. Obviously, they would have the correct know-how and the tools to help fix your problem. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you found this information very useful. If so, please feel free to share it with your loved ones. The next one we'll be doing will be on home fire safety. We're going to talk about basic home fire safety, basic fire science, and also how to use a fire extinguisher. Again, thanks for tuning in, and it would be a great honor if you can like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, be safe out there. Thank you very much. Bye.